gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning,
generals gathered in their masses, just like
the war machine keeps turning.
Survivor Series. Where was it, William Regal? War Games. Indeed, we are talking about War Games tonight. We had 5 fantastic matches on the card tonight. We're going to run them all down for you. I'm Coach Rob. That's Ryan. That's Justin. Not Jason.
What's up?
Justin. He's back, and he's got his Christmas tree up because it's Christmas season. And
it's beginning to feel a lot like...
It is the first Sunday in Advent. Happy Christmas season to everybody. We are officially on the road to Christmas Day and then New Year's. We got a lot of great stuff to cover. Not a lot happening in the world of wrestling this week that's worth mentioning. So we're gonna take this is gonna be an MJF free day today, and we're gonna talk about WWE Survivor Series. This is our recap. The boys have come up with a new concept today, and this is called the roll up. They're gonna lead this in. So Justin, Ryan, you guys take it away, and I'll just be my painfully miserable self.
That's right, Rob. This is the roll-up, otherwise known as getting you everything you need to know about Survivor Series in 30 minutes or less, or your money back. This week,
not that you guys pay us anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's free anyways, but you're going to get your money back if it's not done in 30 minutes. So we got a little bit of a time press on there. So this is a punkless podcast, if you will, Rob. I'm sure you'll be excited about. We're going to talk all about Survivor Series. We're going to run it down from the match. The very first match is the Women's Survivor Series. I like that they space these out so much. But before we actually get in the match and the blow by blow,
bookends.
Yeah. But I want to talk about the beauty of Dusty and pulling him into this. They mentioned him several times. Michael Cole.
They did.
They talked about him, and then you saw it on Kevin Owens, which we'll talk about his shirt and his bionic elbow pad as he came in later on. I just like that they're making him more prevalent as Cody is here, and he's poised to come back here. At some point. I just love the fact that they're bringing up Dusty more than maybe they have in the past to keep it fresh in your mind. It's a really good
and also, the New Day was wearing American Nightmare sweaters on their merchandise ad. So I was like, oh, they're pushing Cody coming back here pretty soon.
Yes. So, so I like that they've got all these matches here. I will say that the female match felt like it didn't really start until everybody was in the ring. But it was a great match. I like how they started, and now let the War Games begin as Becky Lynch comes in. It really gave her a really strong presence and feeling like, okay, this is the reason why they are probably going to win. Like, if they win, this is it. Her first sequence was perfect movie video game style, where she was on the ropes. Everybody was coming at her. She was kicking back, doing left.
Doing side kicks.
Yeah, there's no way that could not have been choreographed. Did you guys see that? What did you think about that first one?
I thought it was great. I think them running out with the trash cans and everybody on the top rope. It was very essence of Rey Fenix jumping up and kicking people off there. That was great spot. Absolutely.
I want to point out here that Rhea Ripley looks like China level strong right now, and I don't know if it's just Judgment Day or whatever, but she just looks like an unstoppable force. There was a spot. One of the better spots in the matches where Asuka had to shoot her with the Great Muta Mist, if you will, since he's on his retirement run. And that's what had to put her out because she was just decimating everybody else. She seemed like next level stuff. There are a couple of really good spots in the match. I'm a little bit concerned about Bayley. Did you guys see that bad fall that she took? She kind of landed on her and kind of folded up on the back of her neck. Did you guys notice that?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, so there was one piece there, and she didn't really do much for the rest of the match. So that's something that we should be on the lookout for in the dirt sheet to see if she's legitimately hurt.
Was that after Nikki Cross jumped off the cage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was after Nikki Cross jumped off the cage. I think Nikki Cross, that was the big spot before the match actually started, I think. One of my favorite spots of the match that I didn't think got enough time was the Nikki and Bliss handcuff spot. Because she was really pushing that to put her up there. And I thought that having them linked together for the rest of the match, they could have done a lot of fun stuff with that. And that's kind of where it ended. That would be my only negative part of this match. I think that could have had more. And it was a great spot. I just think that there could have been a lot more fun stuff that they did with that. Maybe they just didn't have time. I don't know. But nonetheless, Becky Lynch got the pin on Io Sky after a double ass drop from the top of the ring onto some tables with Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Yeah, great spot. Bianca with the assist on that one, pulling Bayley off the fence to stop her from getting to Becky before she did that. Gentlemen, what do we think of this match?
She tossed her over the ropes.
Yeah. I love the Bianca KOD spot. It looked like it was a little bit botched, but that's okay. I mean, they threw it into the cage, and it gave Becky enough time to come off the top. Which, by the way, having her back is phenomenal. I mean, she got her
as the man
slam, separated her shoulder, and if anybody knows about shoulder injuries, it's me. And for her to be back so quickly and to be able to take bumps and go for massive spots, it really does show how much she loves the business and how much she wants to be there. So kudos to Becky for taking these super high risk spots. I love, like you said earlier, I love the let the war games begin. Samantha Irvin, who is the ring announcer for SmackDown, she really is very, very special. I think she's one of these that she's up there with a Lillian Garcia. She's up there.
He could be a metal singer with her guttural, let the war games begin.
I think she's up there with a Howard Finkel. I'd even go as far as to say like a Michael Buffer as far as the ring announcer, because you have these unique ring announcers in their special voices. Justin Roberts, really good. Lillian was great. Chimmel was great. But Samantha Irvin, I feel like she's got something extra, and she's a flautist. She's a world-renowned flautist, or flutist, whatever you want to call it. But really, really, really good talent, and she's Ricochet's boo. So
absolutely. Well, I agree with you with the Bianca Belair spot with the Bayley. I think it absolutely was phenomenal, like you said. And someone who else is phenomenal was in the next match, because it was AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. This is a match that I think should have been a main event on Mania. This is a match that has more history than any other match could possibly even have, just because of the amount of time that these people have been a part of the same faction. Don't get me wrong, it was a great match. I just think that this match should have had a better build. I feel like it was a stop and start match because of the Edge stuff. I feel like AJ came back in to pick up the slack from Edge. I don't really know. I don't say that it wasn't great. I just think it's something that should have had more time, or not even more time, because it had a lot of time. It should have had more air time to kind of culminate. And I think that it's really a match that could have been a phenomenal match. No pun intended. I want to talk about the entrances because, Rob, I know you noticed AJ Styles' mask right off the bat, right?
Love that mask.
It was a New Japan mask, the throwback from when he was in Bullet Club.
Right. They're talking about the Bullet Club a lot.
Actually. They were. And Finn Balor came out with a new mask. A lot of people were giving him crap about the last, like the pin needle mask that he had on. It's the same mask, but it's just pinned off. Here's what I think. I think he's just a big G.I. Joe fan, because he was Cobra frickin' Commander, if you guys noticed that.
That was what I thought was Cobra Commander.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't know what that is, Google Cobra Commander and then put a picture of him with his hoodie on, and that's literally Finn Balor before it started.
A lot of people say Kanye West, but I was like, gross.
Well, I thought the last one was Kanye West. Is that what they were talking about? But yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I don't think he could see through that thing. Did you notice him walking a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right? I don't think that was a two-way thing or a one-way thing. I think it was.
I think there's no, because I was actually in the costume shop not too long ago, and I saw like those exact masks. I saw his pin mask. I saw the other one, and there is like a little bit of a thinning of the fabric. So your vision is lessened but not gone, but.
Probably, or maybe he's just looking out the bottom of it to make sure he's not like running off in the crowd on the thing. Yeah, because that's kind of what it looked like. He had his like face up. Yeah, it was really, really good. And I think, and let's talk about the story about this, because the match was really great. There's a bunch of, some false finishes. There's some, fuckery from the outside and things like that. I think it was a really, really good. I think, it was really the only, straight up men's match that they had on this, on this piece here. As a lot of you guys, if you guys don't know, Finn Balor technically actually started the Bullet Club with Carl Anderson, who is now part of the OC in New Japan. Rob, you want to give them a real quick rundown on that, because you know that story better than anybody else can probably wrap it up super quick.
Yeah, so real quick. So Prince Devitt, Fergal Devitt, which is Finn Balor, he started Bullet Club with Carl Anderson and Haku's son, Tamatonga. I think it was Tamatonga. And the Gorillas of Destiny. And they brought in Carl Anderson, then you bring in a couple other people. And it was at the time when Finn Balor was the junior heavyweight champion in New Japan. After a while, Finn leaves for WWE. Carl Anderson kind of becomes the captain, the leader, so to speak, but not really. And then they insert AJ Styles. When AJ leaves for WWE, then they kind of started over, and that's when they brought in Adam Cole, and you had Kenny Omega and all these other guys running Bullet Club. So Bullet Club's always had a leader, but these two are the guys. And it's funny because they've been talking about their history and this and that and the other, and how they always throw the two sweets together. But to see these two culminate their feud here tonight at Survivor Series was really great. I personally did not see AJ Styles winning this match because I feel like it's going to impede the progress of Judgment Day. I was honestly waiting for Edge to come out at any moment and stifle Finn Balor post-match. But, it is good to see AJ Styles get a win for the first time in over 3 years.
He needed a win. He needed a win. And he won.
He's won a match on a pay-per-view.
There were two spots.
Wow.
I liked the double foot to the chest right before. It was very, very brutal. But at the end of the day, AJ Styles wins with a phenomenal forearm between the two rings. 1, 2, 3, clean victory in the middle. And absolutely. The next match that we had on the pay-per-view after this was Shotzi versus Ronda. And honestly, I think this was a high-profile squash match. I think we all knew that was going to happen. There was a little bit of urgency. Shotzi had a sense of urgency at the start of the match. And I think it was a good approach. As you guys, I think Rob, you mentioned about she's going to have to do something to try and get there. My biggest takeaway from this match is what the hell is going on with the eyeshadow with Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey? Are they trying to make themselves look ridiculous on purpose? Because it
makes them look more moody.
These are two badass bitches.
I know they're actually MMA fighters.
Yeah,
both of them. I do want to say something about that match, and I know Shotzi's still kind of developing, and she had a bad botch with Ronda. And then Shayna got involved, and they started flipping each other over. But the best part was Shotzi threw Ronda over the barricade and ran and jumped on her and fell back into 2 or 3 audience members, which they're probably extra wrestlers spot. Who are but that was great.
Take out those guys in the crowd was awesome. That was a good spot.
Yeah,
and that for me was the highlight of the match. I like the fact. I like the fact that they're trying to give these, I don't want to call them B-tier wrestlers. It's not fair to them because they're hard workers, and all the women work really hard. But to take somebody like Shotzi, who hasn't had the best record, she hasn't won a lot of matches. She went 0-3 earlier this year. She's won 2 matches, and it's giving her a chance, which is great because she deserves the opportunity to highlight what she can do. With Liv Morgan being out, with Charlotte Flair being out, with I don't know what's going on with Raquel Rodriguez right now because they injured her in kayfabe, so who knows exactly what's going to happen with her. Maybe she's filming something, I don't really know. But, giving Shotzi a chance at the title is great, but I just feel like it was too soon. The build-up was not good. The match, we all knew that Ronda was going to crush her. I mean, I feel like the Tank even felt like that Shotzi wasn't going to win the match. It just feel real bad.
There was one moment where, Shotzi caught Ronda with, a punch, and Ronda went down, oh, my God, she's stunned. It's
that's she did. Yeah, Michael Cole. Yeah, Michael Cole was trying to do the best that they can, but even they were so proud. What's funny is Shotzi's in trouble is what he said, but in reality, he meant to say Ronda's in trouble, but I think he's just so used to saying Shotzi's in trouble, he accidentally botched that one. But at the end of the day, Ronda picks up the win with the arm bar. Her strength, her skill just can't be outdone by Shotzi. And then after that, we move on. Yeah, it was very quick. And I mean, it should be. I don't think I don't like the slow tap outs on the armbar. Anybody who's ever been in an armbar or knows anything about UFC, you're either immediately get out of it, but once it's locked in, it's done. It's over. It's immediate. If you don't tap immediately, your arm breaks. It's that simple. So if you want to make it look realistic, I get the drama, but like, let's just tap out. Let's find the drama somewhere else. But there's a great promo after this match. Go ahead.
And just like you said, I like the fact that the tap outs are quick on the arm bars, and anything that's submission-y as far as is proper fighting, UFC, MMA, etc. Those quick tap outs are good because, again, we don't need the drama. You know, Ronda is a trained champion. She's a judo player. She's a UFC champion. It's good that they're keeping some realism in the sport of wrestling at the moment, especially with people like Ronda Rousey.
Yeah,
continue.
I agree. I got a question for you guys. Do you think that Roman Reigns will be in WWE for that much longer because he needs an Oscar for the performance that he has put on in these promotions?
Dude, that was with the Sammy promo. That was great.
Just with the straight shot, typically acting just is not well received, like, you know, the acting when they do that, and he just has such great control over his character, and it could be the character. You give him any other character and maybe he'll botch it, whatever, but that promo between Sammy and Roman, between these two matches in the US 3-way, which is what we're about to go into, just Roman's got acting chops, man. It's believable. What's that?
Not for nothing, when Roman was out with leukemia, he was taking acting classes in between therapies because obviously they knew he was going to come back. He did that. Which Fast and the Furious movie, dude?
It was Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes, he was in the Hobbs and Shaw movie.
And he was like one of The Rock's cousins.
That's correct. Yeah. So they gave him like some of these opportunities to really make his acting chops. And obviously when he came back with Paul Heyman at the helm, that's where he's really started to shine. Is as soon as you put Paul Heyman with anybody, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? I don't even want to give Paul Heyman the credit on that. I just think his character has been so refined down to it's just, he knows exactly who he is, and he is just, it's very refined. That's the work. Like, he knows what that character would do in any situation, and he immediately goes into it. Next match, though, I want to talk about, because this was like a sleeper match for me that I wasn't super excited about, but it was a banger.
The triple threat match was, it was my favorite match of the night, actually.
With Bobby Lashley, Seth freaking Rollins, and Lumberjack Austin Theory. So what you got to say, Rob?
Big fan of Lumberjack Austin Theory.
I will say, Austin Theory lost his background entrance to a Beyblade commercial advertisement. What is up with that?
Yeah, you know what? But it's okay, because at the end of the day, which we're about to get into, it panned out for him. But a couple of the good spots that stand out here, guys. What were the spots that stood out for you guys? Because I wrote a couple of mine down.
I got mine was like, Bobby Lashley, like doing all this double team stuff, picking people up on his shoulders, using them as battering rams. That was awesome. I love, how many chops does it take to get to the center of Austin Theory from Seth Rollins? That was a great moment.
Double hurt lock.
And the what?
The double hurt lock.
The double hurt lock stood out for me. Yeah,
I was dying laughing. The double hurt lock, and then he's got the sleeper, and it was awesome.
I really like the entire sequence towards the end that started with the Rollins skipping curb stomp. So look, for all you guys that are listening to this, that you haven't had a chance to watch it, you're not sure if you're going to watch it, you want to just do the highlights, watch the US 3-way and watch the last 3 minutes of the match, starting with Rollins skipping curb stomp. So he uses Theory as kind of like a step up, right? And then goes and then curb stomps Bobby Lashley. It's just a beautiful, beautiful spot. I mean, it's RKO level, like Randy Orton level, creativity for the curb stop. But then that goes into Austin Theory. That goes into Seth Rollins taking Theory up, doing a superplex into a Falcon Arrow that then gets caught by Lashley, and then
doing a spear.
Yeah, in a spear mid move, and then that allows Theory to cover him for the 1, 2, 3. So Theory Lashley still looks strong. Like, he didn't know what was going on. He got out of the spear. It all happened so quick. He would have never had time to do it. It was a very believable, quote unquote. Obviously, we know all the ridiculous stuff going on, but as far as time wise, logistically, it made sense. Austin had the wherewithal to, just basically roll over as, Rollins was basically pummeled from getting a spear and then getting, finishing that duplex. Yeah, it was probably the best finishing sequence I've seen in, I don't know how long, a year.
And
maybe.
I think it really it makes, I know when we were texting, about him cashing in his, Money in the Bank and it being a bad spot, that was a launching point for Austin Theory really to step up his game.
Yeah, everybody thought like, oh, he's not the thing anymore. He's not the thing anymore. Like, no, they still want him to be the thing. This almost like wiped the slate clean, like I think you'd say, and then like he just started over, and it feels like just that quick he has more momentum behind him. And I know, Rob, you don't like lumberjack theory, but hey, we talked about it last podcast, Ryan. All it takes is a beard. All it takes is a beard, brother.
No, man, I love lumberjack theory. Who I don't like is I don't like selfie theory with the little soul patch. I didn't like that shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
I love this new Austin Theory. I think the kid's great. I mean, he's 25, 26 years old, and he's just got the world at his feet. And I think that as long as they push him slowly and don't cram him down our throats like they did with Cena and Roman, I think that he's going to be a big star. But I think too, like you guys were saying earlier, they had to take this Money in the Bank briefcase off of him because it's kind of given off a stigma at this point. I feel like the Money in the Bank briefcase is starting to become old hat in a lot of ways. Pardon my old hat.
That looks like a new one. That looks like a new hat.
These antlers are probably 20 years old. They belong to my grandfather. I've got a picture.
Oh, well, nice. It is literally an old hat.
We've been decorating the house for Christmas, and I've got this picture of my grandfather sitting on my mantle, and he's just like, he's got these on. He's like this. He's like, yeah. My grandfather was so much fun. God rest him. He's such a delightful man. But anyway, no, I think with the Money in the Bank, hopefully they're talking about moving it back to WrestleMania as a featured match instead of having it be a standalone pay-per-view. And I think that might be a good idea just because, we've got so many gimmicks.
There are talks about it, but a little update on that, Rob, is that there has been multiple people inside WWE have denied that's actually been talked about. They're saying, I'm not saying that it's not a possibility, but they're saying that it has something that has not been talked about. But again, that could just be scuttlebutt. That could be, misdirection and things like that. But as good as that match was, I want to get to the main guys because this is the one that I want to spend the most time on. We're a little bit over 20 minutes. We're trying to stay it on here. And honestly, this match, the storytelling in this match was unparalleled. And I've got a question started off, and I'm going to leave it to you, Ryan and Rob. It's like, are the Bloodline even heels anymore?
God, no.
I mean,
how?
Not really. Like you hear the crowd chanting for him. Everyone loves him. And when Sammy turned, like they love him even more.
What were the three biggest pops in this match? From intros to end, what were the three biggest pops in the match?
I loved the 10-man chest beating on the middle part of the two rings all at the same time. Like that was awesome.
Yep. That was good. I mean, for me, again, we talked about the main story in this line, the thread that follows through all this is Sammy's loyalty, right? I think you're going to see that throughout the chance. So every single of the biggest pops, as you said, somehow, some way, shape, or form involved that storyline. And I think that's what I noticed. But I liked starting out, let's just going from the beginning of the match. I love Kevin Owens' tribute to Dusty Rhodes, not with just the bionic elbow shirt, but again, we're pulling that Survivor Series War Games. Now we've got a WCW, WWE pay-per-view that's being melded. Vince McMahon is just rolling over in his bed of money that he still has. But that bionic elbow pad and everything else, man, it was a beautiful thing. And that Kevin Owens was definitely a Dustin Owens guy. This was Butch's Butch has started out the match, and this is his fourth War Game. So if he has probably the most experience in these War Games, and I think it was a good one for him to start because he's really easy to get sympathy on, to get beat up on or whatever. But I loved the Jay's not Usi chants. That's what made me pop when Jay's not Usi as soon as he came in there. So
starting Jey Uso in that match was really a stroke of genius because, you could have sent Sammy out there and just had him get beaten to the wolves. But I love the fact that as soon as it was their turn to take their second guy in, the Brawling Brutes are already in the match. Jay's down, and Jimmy jumps out to go help his brother, and he's like, no. Sammy's going.
No, you.
Yeah. That just this
again, storytelling.
The storytelling's so good because now it's giving these two a chance to work together, and it's kind of helping them out. And throughout the match, they're arguing, they're bickering, and then when
but Sammy saved him multiple times.
Sammy saved him multiple times. What was it? Was it Sheamus was going for a bro kick and he was going to
pull him out of the way,
and pulled him out of the way.
Pulled him out of the way. And then after the match, you saw the exchange that he had after that. It was a different angle, and you saw him pull it, and he said, I got you. I told you. I got you. Something that I want to comment here is that, I know it's a steel cage, so it didn't make, whatever. But, you've got Heyman was there. He didn't really play any role in the match whatsoever. But I did think that it was interesting that Heyman, 30 years ago exactly, was in a War Games match against Sting and his squadron in WCW in one of the original ones. And a little bit of trivia, Paul E's Dangerous Alliance, and a little bit of trivia for you guys. One of the members in that Paul E Dangerous Alliance was a brand new, stunning Steve Austin.
That's right.
Stunning. And did he have hair in that one that time?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Still had the hair. Yeah.
They were billing him as the new Ric Flair, and it just he just kept getting his knee injuries. It just took him out of the whole thing.
It wasn't until ECW when he did that promo for Paul. So, anyways, Heyman wasn't really a matter, but I thought that was a really cool bit of trivia that literally 30 years ago is 1992, and I want to say it was around this time whenever they had that. So, I love the Sammy Uso chants. Love the Sammy Uso. After all that, I thought that was really good.
When he saved the pin.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, so that's okay.
That was a great spot. That whole last 3 minutes of the match was just like, whoa.
It really was. So we got taking the people there. So, Bloodline are basically dominating the 3-on-3, right? So every single time it's even, the Bloodline are winning, which just they look super, super strong. The only time that the Brawling Brutes can get any type of advantage at all is when it's 4-on-3. The Owens opening chair sequence when he came in, though, again, going back to Becky, Owens and Becky, there's parallels there because he just cleaned house with that chair and then ended with the on both of the Usos and ended with the DDT on the chair. He just looked like a world killer. But then when Solo came in, this match did more for Solo, at least that first sequence, than I think anything else has because he looked like a monster. He took out Owens one-on-one. And then when him and Drew met right after that, he looked strong against Drew. And we talked about storylines and we talked about layers when we were previewing this match. And that's like a big one, right? Because Solo was the reason Drew did not win the title back in Clash at the Castle, right? Over in Cardiff. So there's some really cool back and forth between him. And I think that could be a storyline moving forward. I think let's see, Roman Reigns coming in was definitely one of the big pops that you talked about, Rob. He literally came in and destroyed the entire team by himself, just with chops.
Smashed everybody, as he likes to say.
Literally God mode. Again, we talk about him being like boss. Now he's final boss is kind of his
definitely
character
final
now.
boss.
That's really, really what it felt like.
But then I loved how Kevin Owens went right at him and was finishing him, and he almost. And, like that spot, like he almost had him finish. And then I saw the camera angle. I'm like, Sammy's a little far away to break up this pin. And then he jumps and grabs the ref's arm. And I was like, oh.
Such a good fucking spot.
I just saved your life. That was good.
It really was. It was, and it was Sheamus versus Roman for a large portion of the match, too, which makes me wonder, is there going to be something that comes on there after that? I love the 100 beats to Broden or to Bodrin or whatever the heck they call that.
100 beats to Bodrin.
Yeah. When all five of them came and just like you were saying, beating on the chest there or whatever.
Yep.
The super kick that Jay accidentally did to Sammy, That was another big piece of the match. If you guys didn't check it out, that was something, where Jimmy came afterwards. He's pretty pissed off on it, but it ended up allowing them to do the near fall on Butch with the 1D. And that was kind of like a turning point to the match, I think. There was a double super kick by the Usos, followed by a spear to Rich through a table. And then after that, there were a couple several near falls back and forth. The pop-up power bomb to the stunner to Roman.
Yep.
That was only saved, like you were talking about. That's the spot. It was only saved by Sammy. Roman was out. KO had it won. Sammy grabbed the ref's arm and said no. And then there was a little bit of a heated exchange between the two of them. And then next thing you know,
Sammy betrayed his best friend.
Yeah. So was it Jimmy or Jay? I can't quite remember, that went for the super kick. Owens caught it. And while he was cut up, Jimmy was caught by Owens. And then once he had his arms full holding the super kick, Sammy hesitated for a split second, came up, gave him the low blow, and then basically Sammy offered up Owens to Jay to do the splash, come down, and Jay gets the victory over Kevin Owens for the Bloodline. 1, 2, 3, and there's an emotional embrace between Roman Reigns at first, but then an even more emotional embrace from Jay moving to Sammy, picking him up, and that is probably the pop of the night.
That was the pop of the night.
I agree. I mean, he finally accepted, he sold his soul, and, he got the reaps of those rewards.
But if you watch the parting shot of the pay-per-view, it was the last image before everything ended.
Yep.
You got Jay and Roman staring down Sammy like, I mean, they still don't trust him. It's still just kind of like, what are we gonna do? And I love the fact that they just keep telling this story, and it makes me wonder who really is pulling all the strings on this story. Does Paul Heyman have a lot of go in this? Is it Roman? Is it Sammy? Who is adding all the layers to this story? Because Paul Heyman is a goddamn genius, but Sammy is also a genius. Roman is smart, but I feel like Sammy and Paul just have so much experience and knowledge of the industry and how to tell a good story that I feel like they're in control of this story off screen. But
Rob, I'll be honest with you. This match, I feel like they hired Steven Spielberg to do it. That's how much I love this match. I mean,
Bold
I know I'm sounding like a fanboy here, but I'm critical of WWE, if nothing else. I'm more of an AEW guy, but I've got to admit that they knocked this pay-per-view out of the park. And I know we're over the 30 minutes, guys, but at this point, we've gotten through the match, so we don't owe you any money, okay? All the matches are done, so you can turn it off if you want to. We're just going to talk for a second here as we're closing it down. But honestly, I think, yes, this match, the storytelling, I don't know what it was. I just felt like we talked about, there's a combination of the layers, just super high level, technical storytelling on a physical standpoint, not just the actual storyline itself, but people being able to hit spots that maybe we take for granted how difficult they are to happen. Things like the super kick into doing the 1D, into, the double super kick into this, and just people being at the right places over 2 rings. It's just, you've got, 10 of the absolute best athletes, and sports entertainers.
Yep.
As Daddy Magic would say, in the world, all inside this ring. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. The whole pay-per-view was good, but this is the match that I knew was going to be the standout, and it didn't let down. And I think the one right before it, which I'm surprised that they did that, because it was a banger, but they somehow outdid the 3-way for the U.S. title. So, guys, closing thoughts?
Triple H.
I still stand by the 3-way being my favorite.
War Games, the men's War Games match was just very special, and all the matches were good. I mean, even Shotzi and Ronda had their moments, but Triple H just ain't playing to lose, man. He is playing for keeps. He wants to win. He wants to show everybody that, look, when he was running NXT, this is exactly how things happen in NXT. I mean, you were impressed with every single match. They had you on the edge of your seat, and this felt more like an NXT show than a WWE show, and they've all have lately, because when you have the right production crew and you've got the right man at the helm, especially Triple H, and you know he's taking advice from Paul Heyman, he's taking advice from the wrestlers, he's giving them a little bit more carte blanche than Vince ever did. They're writing. A lot of these guys are still scripting their own promos, and it's making for compelling television. It's making for compelling stories. And you know, I feel like if anybody ever thought WWE was gone, with this show tonight, WWE
they're back.
Without a shadow of a doubt are back.
It's over $80 a share. I know that.
Nice.
I love money.
All right, boys. Well, I know we've got a time limit here. But until next time.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, this was a good one. So I think we're going to do this from now on the big pay-per-views. We're going to, guys, give you the roll-up, something really quick for anybody that doesn't have that time to run through 3 hours. We're going to try and give you the highlights best we can. Hopefully we did good for you guys. Maybe we gave you a couple highlights of things to go back and take a look at so you make sure that you get all the best of the best. But this pay-per-view was a solid one. If you get a chance to watch it all the way through, you know, with the exception of maybe the Ronda Shotzi match, there really was no filler. 5 matches, all bangers, all super entertaining, all had different storylines. And I mean, I give this. I know we don't really rate pay-per-views, but I would give this one an A for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm down. Maybe an A- with the Shotzi Ronda match being kind of a squash.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, if you guys like the show, comment on it. Tell us what you thought, and you know, tell us we suck. I don't know, but comment, please.
Yeah, let us know if you like this, if you don't like it, what you guys want to see more of, what you don't like, and we'll do our best to be less repetitive and not repeat ourselves over and over again and say the same thing multiple times back to back, and you know, be more not saying the same thing and less repetitive.
Totally,
redundant.
Totally less repetitive. All right, gentlemen, I will see you next time. Always a pleasure.
See you guys.
And, I'll pick us up with the War Dog.
Ryan, for Justin, happy wrestling, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Happy wrestling.
Death and hatred to mankind.
It's my war song.
Poisoning their brainwashed
hold on.
minds. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Oh. Justin just ran off screen. We're not done yet, apparently.
I like his flowery chair. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Almost. All right. Bye, everybody.
See you next time.